Collinsville Panthers. Remember, if you have a question, raise your hand, and Dave will get a microphone to you. We're going to continue with the Panthers this morning, and Coach Ernie Willingham. Coach, it's good to see you again. Always good to see you and your guys this morning. So if you'll either introduce them or let them introduce themselves in their position, and then some opening comments from you, we'd appreciate it.
Okay, it's good to be here. We appreciate y'all doing this every year, and all the publicity we can get, we appreciate, because sometimes we don't get as much as we think we ought to get. But thank y'all for being here, and I'm gonna let these guys introduce themselves, starting down here.
My name is Sean Stewart, and I play right guard and linebacker.
My name is Justin Pruitt. I play center and defensive end.
My name is Freddie Rivera. I play nose guard and left guard.
My name is Caleb Cromer. I play right tackle and defensive end.
My name is Samuel Stewart. I'm a junior. I play left tackle and defensive end.
Okay, first thing, a little bit about these guys. This is my offensive line, and this has been my offensive line for the last, all of them, 2 years, and some of them 3. And we, like I said, I didn't think we get the credit we deserve sometimes. These guys work really hard, and all our young guys, we've got young skill guys. We were 8-2 last year. We only lost to the 2 semi-final teams in the north. We lost to Fife and Pisgah, and the year before we lost to Fife and Pisgah. So, you know, we've been almost there before, and playing really, really young guys. And I thought we were a lot better last year than we were the year before, but the record didn't show that. And I think we're ready maybe to take the next step because of these guys. And they worked really hard this summer, and we appreciate that. We're excited. We've got several returning starters on both sides of the ball, and they know what it's going to take to compete at a high level. We've played the youth card the last couple of years, okay, and we played the youth card really hard even last year. But these guys, obviously they're seniors now, but they were juniors last year, so we overplayed the youth card last year a little bit because we weren't quite as young as we said we were, just in a couple of positions. But 4 of these 5 starting offensive linemen are seniors and have been starting for at least a couple of years. We're moving up to 3A. We've been there before, okay, 2018 we were 2A, and the only game we lost in the regular season was to Fife, and the only game we lost in the playoff was to Fife. And then 2019, we moved up to 3A, and the only team we lost to in the regular season was Fife, and the only game we lost in the playoff was to Fife in the semifinals. So we've been close, and we think we're close again. We think we've grown up, and we're really close enough to get there, and we'll see if we can get over the hump. We've been close to getting over the hump those other times. In 18 and 19, Fife won the state and beat everybody really bad but us. Okay, I thought we could have possibly beat them both times. We didn't either time, but we were in the game, and I think we're there again, and we'll see what we can do. Our summer program has been good. It hasn't been good. It's been great. It's been the best summer program I've ever been involved in. We've challenged these guys more than ever. Okay, we've really stepped up our conditioning more than ever. I don't think anybody's ever lost a game because they ran too much. But if you can, we may lose a game because of that, because we've run too much. And I hope that pays off. We stepped up the intensity, added more conditioning. I just told you that. 7-on-7 and OTAs, you ask everybody that. We played some 7-on-7s and some OTAs. The first couple, we just had an individual team come in, and we work out with them, and we do drills with them, and then we do 7-on-7 and 11-on-11. We do the whole thing, and that's mostly for coaching, but we've been just for coaching and teaching and getting everything in. But we've gone to a couple of competitive team camps. We went to Scottsboro. That was our first really competitive team camp. Played some really good competition. Competed well there. Offensive line went to that one, and I thought competed really well in their offensive line challenge stuff. And then we went to Albertville and played pretty good in the round robin, but wound up coming back and winning the tournament. We beat who did we beat? Beat DR in the first round and beat Buckhorn in the second round, and Pisgah beat Albertville in their semifinal round, and we beat Pisgah in the finals. So I thought we did really good there. One more thing, and I'll open up for questions. I think we're really, really talented at a lot of positions. We're not very deep. We're going to have 36 maybe players, 11 seniors, maybe 36 players in all. A few of those will be ninth graders, but sometimes if a certain player goes down, we may have to move two more to get it worked out the way we need to do. So being injury-free is going to be a real key to us. And whatever y'all want.
All right, Coach, I believe this is the first time I've ever been to a media day where the whole starting offensive line came. That's great to see those guys. But I also know you got some good skill players. Would you talk about the skill players, and we'll talk to these guys here in a few minutes.
All right, the skill players get all the credit.
I know.
Okay, and we do have some pretty talented skill players, and I'm not going to bring them up here to meetings yet because most of those are still 10th graders. They started as 8th graders, and they started as 9th graders, and they're 10th graders now, most of them, but, they get all the credit. But these guys right here are the reason, they've got to have somewhere to run. And one of them, I hadn't mentioned the name yet, Mason McAteer. My grandson's been the quarterback for 2 years in a row. And the only reason I mentioned his name is because he got sacked once last year, the whole year. He got sacked the last game against Southeastern. He didn't get sacked. We played the first 10 regular season games, and he never got dirty. Okay, so these guys really, they really do their job, and they take pride in taking care, of those little sissy running backs sometimes, aren't they? They take pride in taking care of those little boys. Okay, so we're proud of them too.
Well, Coach, I want to mention Mason McAteer. He started for the last 2 years, and this year, his role is going to continue to grow. He is very important to this offense to make it grow because he makes your whole offense a lot more diverse. He can throw the football, and basically he's another coach on the field.
He does a good job. And we hadn't played him on defense before, but this year I think we're going to play him at some secondary back there too, let him do that. But I'll say a couple of them, what I'm going to say about him. His role actually shrunk last year because some of the other guys got better, okay? When he was an 8th grader, he threw for like 1,300 yards, but he rushed for 750. And last year, I think he rushed for about 400. He only ran about half the time because, we've got some more running backs. We have one that moved in. That's actually very good. He made All-State, so he's Quintavious Rogers is a pretty good running back, and he moved in. So that took some of the pressure off him running. And some of the other boys grew up. Gavin Lang, for example, he caught for I've got the stats, 600 yards maybe, and 6-8 touchdowns. But he also rushed for about 300 yards. And then Rajez Rooks is another senior, and he really wanted to come with us today, but he's got a back number on. I wouldn't bring him. Okay. And he actually played line 2 years ago with these guys some, but we've moved into fullback, and he swaps in, and so.
Coach, you've had some. You played with some guys that was really good up front with the 79 crew that you guys always talk about, but then, the one with Caleb and them, those guys, when they came through, that bunch had a really good line. Talk about these guys, how they compare throughout history to some of the great Collinsville offensive lines.
I tell you what, Collinsville has had some good offensive lines, and I'm going to say one more thing about that 18 and 19. Those guys started, one of them started as 8th grader, and the other 4 started as 9th graders. So they started 4 years. And that one, and I retired that. I didn't get to coach the other guy his senior year, but I coached all of them those 4 years together. And these guys, they're maybe not as big, okay, but they work really well together, and they really try hard for each other, and they've really committed to gelling together and done some extra work this summer, and they've really pumped it up in the weight room, and I love these guys, and I think we're going to do well with them.
Guys, hearing Coach talk about you, only allowing 1 sack last year. I mean, just talk about some of the personal goals that you've got as far as on the team. Having maybe a 1,000-yard rusher, 3,000-yard pass or something like that. I mean, just talk a little bit about, some of the goals that you have, for this season.
Some of the goals I have this season is obviously having no more sacks, like I don't want to have a sack this year. Like we had 1 sack last year. I don't want it to be a sack this year. And I want our running backs to feel, like they have a line that will block for them this year. Like last year, heard a lot of complaining, but, he still had a lot of yards. So I don't know, but yeah.
Well, hearing Coach talk good about us, it really makes me feel like he sees us working hard, and he really trusts us to block for the running backs and allow no sacks this year, and it just makes us feel good that he sees us working.
Yeah, I really appreciate my coach bragging on us like that. It makes us feel very good. I think our team goals are to win state, most teams, and to dominate every defensive line that we come across, and to have a very dominant offensive line.
And that's like Sean said, it's sort of like holding each other accountable. Only having 1 sack last year, we don't want any. Like Coach said, Mason's pretty young. We want to keep him protected back there. That's our job, open holes and keep him protected and give him time to pass the ball.
Obviously, our goal is to win state, just protect everyone we can. I feel like we're going to be the best we ever been. We've been playing together since 7th grade. I mean, we have chemistry, every single one of us. I mean, going out together, going out to eat, practicing, we push every single one of each other. Like, we push ourselves to the fullest. And we're going to make our goals this year.
Well, Coach Willingham, these guys, if you can tell, they have raised the bar. This team expectations are high. The defensive side of the ball, you haven't talked a whole lot about it. You got 10 returning starters. To be successful in the playoffs, the defensive side of the ball is so important.
Yeah, there's no question, and that's not lost on us, okay? We realize that we have to get better on defense. Last year and the year before last, both, even though those guys were young, we were really explosive on offense and expect to be again, okay? But, we've done some things that y'all will see later on. I'm not going to talk about them too much, but I expect us to be much more intense than we have been in the past because one reason our summer program, I talked about the running, but it's been pretty intense, okay? And we've talked about physicality, and we've not just talked about physicality. We've practiced a little physicality and mental toughness. We pushed them. Well, we pushed them pretty hard. We pushed them to the point that, I'm happy they're all still here. Okay, but we talked about 18 and 19 and some of those teams. None of them worked this hard. They were physically gifted. Those guys were. They were more. Though you talk about the offensive and defensive lines back then, they were physically more gifted than these guys, but they didn't have a bigger heart. Okay, and that goes a long way.
Guys, we'll wrap it up. I've got one question for you. Coach Willingham, he's been at Collinsville a long time, played at Collinsville, great athlete there. You guys obviously have grown up together. You just talked about it just a few moments ago that you've grown up together. Talk about what it's like to play for Coach Willingham and also what it means to you to be a Collinsville Panther.
Well, obviously, it's great to play with Coach Willingham. Been playing with him since 7th grade. And to be a Collinsville Panther, I think, you just got to be very physical and very love-hearted to our teammates, love everyone, just, be a great teammate. That's what I think it's like to be a Collinsville Panther.
Whenever we were younger, like the 18 and 19 teams, we would always look up to them, and they would always talk about Coach Willingham. We'd be like out at PE and stuff, and we would, the dream was to play for him and to be a part of his team. And to be a Collinsville Panther, I think it's just, we all have the love for the game. We all grew up together, and I think we're all really close, and it's pretty good.
Coach Willingham is a very trusting coach. So we'll do whatever he says. We've been looking up to him since I was 7th grade. He's a great coach. To be a Collinsville Panther, it really is just like, kind of just feels like family, I guess. That's what it feels like me to be a Collinsville Panther.
Like Justin said, when we was younger, we always heard, being able to play for Coach Willingham is one of the best things you can ever do, But now being able to be an offensive lineman and be the one that's playing for him, he's going to tell you when you're right and when you're wrong, He'll let you know, I don't know, man. It's a whole different feeling than what it would be anywhere else. And to be a Collinsville Panther, it's just, you have the whole community right there around you all the time, It don't matter if it's Monday, they're all there. There's some of them there at practice, and then on Fridays, the stands are packed, and then you go to Jack's on Saturday and you got the old man table, I call it. I don't know what it's really called, but, they're always there talking and just like, it's all just one big old family. And that's what I like about it.
Playing for Coach Willingham, he's just the best coach, And when I was in 7th grade, and then he had to take off a year, I was devastated. I really wanted to play for him, and now that I get to play for him, it's just great. Like having him as our head coach, and to be a Collinsville Panther, like Caleb said, the community, like we're all a family. Anywhere you go, it's always someone asking about how's y'all football team, how's y'all basketball team, anything. Everybody at Collinsville is just a family, and we all work hard together. We just push ourselves hard as we can, and we all Collinsville Panthers.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Coach, for being with us today. Good luck to the Collinsville Panthers in 2024.
Thank you.